find some of the German motive power in TSW to be rather bland, but there are exceptions out there in the form of, for example, the BR101, BR143 and BR155 electric locomotives, as well as the BR401 ICE-1, BR425 and BR442 Talent 2 electric multiple units. German diesels are still a rarity in the game by comparison. Today, I wanted to focus on the Talent 2, since she's my favourite of the bunch. I had previously looked at this unit in December 2021, but that original video hasn't aged all that well, especially since that was before I started doing voiceovers. As for why the Talent 2 is my favourite German EMU, that's down to a combination of her distinctive appearance — they weren't called hamster cheeks for nothing — as well as the unique motor sound and the wide range of variants in this class. Talent 2s come in 2, 3, 4 or 5 car formations, but we currently only have 3 and 4 car variants in TSW. Something I often forget is the fact that the Talent 2 was actually the first German motive power of any kind to come to TSW, first appearing in the Rapid Transit route of December 2017. This add-on includes the 71 km of track from Markkleeberg-Gaschwitz to Dessau Hauptbahnhof via the Leipzig City Tunnel. It's part of the S-Bahn Mitteldeutschland network, and this particular variant of the Talent 2, designated as BR1442.1, first entered service in 2013. These days, there are 55 3-car units in service on the network, along with 15 4-car units and 10 5-car units. All these years later after Rapid Transit's release, we still don't have the 4-car BR1442-2 and 5-car BR1442-3 units in the game, just the aforementioned 3-car variant, which makes for an unrealistic rail scene. To make matters worse where the Leipzig S-Bahn route is concerned, the sounds are quite poor on that initial version of the Talent 2. I swear I remember hearing that they were apparently synthesized. In any case, Dovetail did improve the motor sounds for the later variants, but the Leipzig and Köln units still have a little audio bug. The high tone is fine, but when you blast the low tone, the horn sound always cuts out for a split second. Why this still hasn't been fixed is anyone's guess. And another issue that hasn't been fixed is light bleed on the Köln unit. It's most noticeable on the driving coaches at night time. As for the Rapid Transit route itself, I think it's rather bland outside of the Leipzig City Tunnel. On the plus side, the modelling of the 4 underground stations is excellent. I especially like Leipzig Markt. For whatever reason, I also like the colour palette for the grass and ballast textures too. On the other hand, the route is let down by the generally dated scenery and a quiet rail scene, especially on the northern side of the tunnel, as well as the section from Leipzig-Konnewitz to Markkleeberg-Gaschwitz down at the southern end. Dessau Hauptbahnhof is especially bad when it comes to looking and feeling like a complete ghost town. There's no service variation in this route's timetable mode because it only features S-Bahn services. After the release of Rapid Transit, the Talent 2 has reappeared with 2 more routes. The second variant we got was the 4-car BR442/2 in bog standard DB Regio livery, which comes with the Schnellfahrstrecke Köln route, released in August 2020 as part of the Train Sim World 2 package. This unit runs the hourly RE9 service, which you can only drive between Aachen and Köln, then the service continues off the map to Siegen. In any case, the RE9 stops at all stations between Aachen Hauptbahnhof and Düren, except Eilendorf, then runs express to Horem and Köln Hauptbahnhof. The Aachen to Köln section is only 70 km long, which is not too bad for the Talent 2, I suppose, but it's too short for the BR406 ICE 3M that also comes with the route. Lastly, we had the 3-car BR442/1 with the Nahverkehr Dresden route of September 2021, the German entry in the so-called Rush Hour series, which, as far as I'm concerned, deserves to be brought back. This variant runs the RE15, RE18, RB31 and RE50 regional services out of Dresden Hauptbahnhof, and her livery differs from the standard DB Regio red by way of the prominent white stripes and region-specific VVO decals. For whatever reason, we've never had any more Talent 2 variants in TSW since the release of Nahverkehr Dresden. Here are the 3 variants lined up together at Bludenz on the S-Bahn Vorarlberg route. In this situation, their differences are even more noticeable. The silver, with green doors livery on the Leipzig unit really stands out from most of the German rolling stock in this game, especially when Deutsche Bahn red dominates the scene. Besides the liveries, these units differ from each other by way of the door layouts. The Leipzig unit has 2 sets of doors per side on the middle coach, but only 1 set per side on the driving coaches. This is not the case for the Dresden unit, whose middle coach only has 1 set of doors. As for the Köln unit, all but one of her coaches have 1 set on each side, while one of the 2 intermediate coaches has 2 sets. As much as I like the Talent 2, I don't consider myself to be an expert on this class, so I don't know why the door layouts are so inconsistent. Also, what the hell is going on with this coupler? It looks like it's having a seizure. In timetable mode, each variant would normally only layer onto its respective route, so you would only get the silver BR1442/1 on Rapid Transit, 4-car red BR442/2 on Schnellfahrstrecke Köln, and red 3-car BR442/1 on Nahverkehr Dresden. Indeed, the Köln unit only has destination options for RE9 to Aachen, Köln or Siegen, so you can't really use that thing on any other routes. For some reason, the Dresden and Leipzig variants also substitute into the timetable on Tauern to Rump, Dresden to Chemnitz. This is despite the fact that Talent 2s don't run on that line in real life, and the TSW version is set in 2012, 1 year before the S-Bahn Mitteldeutschland units had even entered service. As for the driving experience on the Talent 2, I enjoy it, for the most part. The German passenger services have fairly tight timetables, and that, coupled with the varying amount of station stops, not to mention inconsistent station spacing, can make the journey a good challenge. However, I can't verify if the physics are accurate or not, but at least it doesn't seem too overpowered on the Köln and Dresden units. Personally, I think the Leipzig unit is the weakest of the bunch. There are 3 specific Talent 2 variants that I want to see added to TSW. First is the 4-car BR2442/2 with Verden Felsbahn decals. and she would be included with the remake of München to Garmisch-Partenkirchen from TS Classic. Second is the National Express BR9442 in both 3 and 5 car formations as an add-on for Rhein-Ruhr-Osten, Wuppertal to Hagen. Yes, I am well aware of the fact that an NEX Talent 2 would only happen in TSW if Dovetail could get the license. No need to remind me in the comments. Besides the DB BR2442-2 and NEX BR9442-2, I also want to see the missing 5-car BR442-3 added to Nahverkehr Dresden. As much as I like that route for its non-linear nature and busy timetable, it's still somewhat unrealistic when the 5-car Talent 2s are nowhere to be seen. Thinking back to the BR2442-2 Verden-Felsbahn unit, on the surface, she looks very similar to the standard DB Regio unit that we get with Köln to Aachen in TSW, but there's at least 2 differences. The BR2442-2's coaches all have only one set of doors on each side, and you don't get any region-specific decals on the Köln unit. If you want to use this unit on any realistic services in TS Classic, you're pretty much restricted to just the München to Garmisch-Partenkirchen route. And before I forget, here's a comparison between the Talent 1 and Talent 2 to finish off the video. For reference, the Talent 1, otherwise known as the Österreichische Bundesbahn in Class 4024, first appeared in TSW as part of S-Bahn Vorarlberg, released in September 2023. For a variety of reasons, I think that route is a very poor show. Not what you would expect from something as significant as the first Austrian route in TSW. But that's Dovetail Games for you. Thus ends my showcase of the Talent 2 electric multiple unit. As for the routes that you can run this thing on, I can at least recommend Nahverkehr Dresden, but I'm not sure if I can do the same for the Leipzig and Köln routes anymore. As much as I criticise Dovetail for their often mediocre or downright low quality products, I can still give credit where it's due, as hard as that may be for some people to believe. In this case, it's a good thing that the Talent 2s included with the Schnellfahrstrecke Köln and Nahverkehr Dresden routes aren't just lazy reskins of the Leipzig S-Bahn unit. And I'm still hoping that more variants of this unit come to TSW in the future.